Hey guys, I'm Calin Charles. This is Mental Health Monday, a weekly video where you can learn ways to maintain your mental health. So today we're going to be talking about the complicated subject of boundaries within relationships. So when we first hear that word boundary, something that often comes to our mind is a wall. And what do walls do? They keep people out, they keep people separate. When we approach someone we love and say, hey, you know what, we need to set up some boundaries, or I'm not comfortable with these things you're doing, we need to change this, this, and this in order for me to be happy and healthy, the reaction is often that people go on the offense or get defensive. There's often a view that when you try to set a boundary, it means that you're trying to push that person out of your life. The reality couldn't be further from the truth. So when you set a boundary with someone, it's not about trying to push them out of your life, it's actually about trying to find ways that they can stay in your life in healthy ways so that you don't have to lose them. This is so important when you're setting boundaries, to let the other person know this is the reality. That you're not saying that you don't want them there, that you don't care, but in reality you're saying that I want you in my life and these are the things we need to do in order for you to stay here. There can be so many reasons for setting up boundaries, from toxic relationship habits to people not respecting your own autonomy or well-being, so many different things. What's important to remember is boundaries can make a relationship so much stronger. Often it's a boundary that's either going to make or break a relationship. The reality is, if you need to set boundaries, that probably says that the relationship is headed in a direction where it's doomed to fail. And you setting a boundary says, I don't want this to fail, I want this to succeed. So we need to follow these rules in order to actually allow it to succeed. So how do you set a boundary? Step one is introspection. I think you have to examine the relationship and say, what do I need from this other person in order for me to continue in this relationship and be happy and healthy? Once you identify those things, the next part can be a little harder, but it involves talking with that person and saying, you know what, I can't continue the way things are, but I really want you in my life. So these are the things that we need to start doing if this relationship is going to continue, because I care about you. It's really important to emphasize the point that you're setting boundaries because you care about the other person and you want them in your life. The third step after you establish these boundaries and have this conversation is maintenance. That means that if someone crosses this boundary, you have to enforce it. If you say to someone, I need you to follow these rules that we set up if you want a place in my life, then that means if they break those rules, there has to be some kind of consequence. What this generally looks like is reminding the person, we talked about these boundaries, and if they continue to disrespect them, that might mean you saying, you know what, until you're willing to respect these things that I need, I don't think I can have you in my life right now. But as soon as you're willing to respect these boundaries, we can bring you back in. Having said all this, it doesn't mean that you should try to save every relationship. There are some relationships which are so toxic and so unhealthy for you to be in that sometimes that boundary might mean a permanent disconnection from that person, because that's what's best for you. Only you can know that. So remember, setting boundaries is about saving relationships and not destroying them. Alright guys, I'm Calin Charles. This was Mental Health Monday, and I will see you next week for more mental health tips.